Welcome, everyone. This is Recovery Dharma. My name is Julia. I'm one of the facilitators in the Spokane Sangha, and it is a joy to be here today. For the month of November in our Recovery Dharma practices, we are working with grounding practices. And on Wednesdays, we have a tendency for the last several years now of reading the work of Zen masters. So we've studied Suzuki Roshi, Roshi Joan Halifax, Thich Nhat Hanh, and for the last several months we've pivoted a wee bit away from that to look at a more ancient study of Buddhism through the eyes of Shantideva, an 8th century monk who was living in India, attending Nalanda University, and he didn't write, he shared a tradition, a teaching that he himself created for himself. It was his way as a Buddhist practitioner to take the Buddhist teachings, to take the Dharma, and to apply them to his own life and how he viewed the world. And the most pressing perspective that motivated him completely was the observation of misery in so many living beings. And so he wanted to take the Dharma in a very personal way, to live in such a way that he himself could become an instrument of reducing misery. And he talked about it, he shared about it, and over the years, it became well known as the Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. And it has since been written about. It reads like a very, very long poem. And we've been taking our time reading certain verses, studying certain verses, and contemplating them. We are now in chapter 6, and today I wanted to read for you some verses all about cultivating joy. We have been for weeks now talking about working with anger. When anger arises in us, how do we manage it? How do we hold it? What do we do when it comes knocking? And how can we cultivate some patience to create space around these arisings? Today, I'm going to share for you his perspective on joy, mudita, which is limitless. And it's a quality that in Buddhism we are encouraged to cultivate. And I'd like to take a moment to offer you a little bit of my own personal perspective on what joy is. When I first started coming into the awareness of mudita, appreciative joy, sympathetic joy, it became very apparent to me that this kind of joy is not the same thing as happiness or bliss or ha ha ha, I'm so happy, laughter. It was something else. It was quieter and maybe even a bit stoic with its awareness. Joy, mudita, I think was beautifully captured in Thich Nhat Hanh's, um, i- I think, illustrations of it, which is thinking about a person, a situation, and being able to feel a sense of ease and maybe even delight, some lightness, not because of what this person or this situation is doing for me, but simply because it exists. And this is a really interesting idea, because what if what exists is something I don't like? That's the the trick, isn't it? And this is where mudita truly challenges us to become more limitless in our expression of joy. Joy is not dependent upon whether I like something or not. Joy is a steady stream. It is a constant state that I can fuel, I can nurture, I can breathe into, almost like a bellows for a fire to elevate, or I can turn down its temperature if I need to be a little bit more stoic. And Shantideva is going to tap into this. So it's a reminder that mudita, joy, is not dependent on a person, a place, or a situation. It is a state of heart mind that we can cultivate and apply accordingly outward, but we can tap into it inwardly. So, for example, when I step in dog poop in my yard, which I do almost regularly, I hate it. I can't stand it. It's so gross. And I'm pissed off. And I have this litany of berating comments to myself. Why can't I clean this up? What's the matter with me? I'm so lazy, yada, 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 yada. And that single stupid experience has the potentiality, if I'm not mindful, to ruin my moments because I'm so caught up in the dislike. Mudita, ever present, awaiting for me to tap into it like a plug, reminds me, seriously, Julia, darling, you're going to let this ruin your moments? Really? Silly goose. Come back to me, joy. There's something else to see. Wipe the poop off, clean it up, move on. There are so many wonders to delight in, and so many wonders ready to delight in you. But don't take my word for it. Let's hear what Shantideva has to say about it. Remember, friends, this is coming from an ancient time, 8th century. So let's see what comes up. This is from the chapter Relying on Patience. And I'd like to encourage us to have that be the foundation. This is an invitation to practice patience. And the only way we're really going to understand that is when we work with our impatience. So remember, cultivating joy takes time, takes practice, awareness, and even a little impatience to teach us and guide. Shantideva writes, if someone else develops a mind of joy through praising another's good qualities, why, mind, do you not praise him too and experience the same kind of joy? I should always rejoice in others' happiness and virtue. This joy causes my virtues to increase. Moreover, it is the cause of delighting the holy beings and the supreme method for benefiting others. Let's just take that in for a minute. He writes, I should always rejoice in others' happiness and virtue. This is the supreme method for benefiting others. Those who are not concerned with others' happiness and do not want them to be happy are like someone who stops paying wages to those who work for him, who then experiences many problems. I really love that verse. So let's just break it down for just a moment and present that there are people in the world governed by such states of confusion and ignorance that not only can they not be happy for others, they don't want to be happy for others. So let's just put that out there. There are people in the world mired by confusion and ignorance that they don't know how to be happy for others and don't want to be happy for others. And in that mind state, Shantideva is making the comparison that this is like someone who just decides, yeah, you work for me, but whatever. I don't care. I'm going to stop paying you. I just don't feel like giving you what you've earned. And then you can contemplate all the problems associated with that behavior and with that mind state and that heart state. There's a level of entitlement in there, there's a degree of arrogance in there, and there's also so much disconnection. Shantideva continues, when my own good qualities are praised, I want others to rejoice in me. So why, when others' good qualities are praised, should I not want to rejoice in them? But we do that all the time, don't we? Let me put that into first person. I do that. And it happens when jealousy and envy come knocking on the door to my heart mind. So I see somebody happy, maybe they're getting an award, maybe they're getting attention, um, maybe they're getting praise in ways that I think I'm deserving of, and I feel envious and jealous. And then, of course, because I feel envious and jealous, and I judge those emotions and those experiences to be negative, I then judge myself for being a bad person for having jealousy and envy, forgetting that I'm a whole human being with a full spectrum of emotion. So having jealousy and envy as visitors is actually a gift. It's an opportunity for me to look at what is stirring forward. What are the details? More than likely, it's something from my past that I have yet to heal. And moreover, it is inhibiting me. Those past experiences, not yet healed, not yet fully aware of, not yet practiced, overlay onto my present moment experience, inhibiting me from having joy for someone else who's being praised for their good work, for their good efforts, for their amazing virtue. I can't believe how much I'm getting in the way of seeing that, delighting in it. But I do. When jealousy and pettiness come around. Shantideva writes, having generated the bodhicitta motivation, wishing for all living beings to be happy, why on earth do we not rejoice when others find some happiness for themselves? If I really wish for living beings to become Buddhas who are worshipped throughout all worlds, why do I dislike it so when others receive a little mundane respect now? If someone I was looking after and providing for in different ways were to find his own source of livelihood, surely I would be happy, not upset. If I begrudge living beings, even this, how can I wish for them to attain enlightenment? Where is the bodhicitta in one who is not happy when others receive something good? Now, next week, one of the things that Shantideva is going to very gently and lovingly caution us to consider is when we notice that the very human experience of jealousy or envy or pettiness or dismissiveness or whatever it is are coming, stirred up by a situation in another person and in another experience. This is not an invitation to get down on ourselves, to get mad at ourselves, to berate ourselves and judge. That's just more fuel for the fire of negativity, right? So, this is the practice of equanimity. The limitless qualities are forever intersecting and weaving into each other. And so, when we don't feel joyful in the presence of someone receiving attention and praise, because jealousy and envy is there, it's okay. It's okay that joy for the moment is absent. Something else is there. And that something else is there because we haven't given it the attention it's needed all this time. So, with the practices of loving kindness, we can say to our jealousy, "Oh, you miserable emotion. You make my stomach sour. You make my heart hurt. I can't stand having you here. I'm ashamed that I feel jealous in this moment and envious. And I feel jealous in this moment and envious. Oh, I'm going to sit with that in a gentle way. And I'm also going to have compassion because I'm not the only person in the world who feels jealousy and envy. So I'm going to invite other people's jealousy and envy to join my party. And with equanimity and inclusivity, I'm going to ask this difficult emotion that is getting in the way of me feeling joyful for someone else. I'm going to ask, what do you want to show me? What do you want to teach me today? What can I learn? Because there's somebody over here getting some well-deserved attention and praise, and it's making them so happy. And I don't want to rain on their parade. I don't want to bring a noxious scent into their space. Nor do I want to be fake either. So I want to understand my own envy, my own joy, and my own jealousy, even enough that I can feel joy and delight over the fact that I'm practicing. Look at me taking this time to ask questions, to gain understanding of my own heart and mind, to apply some kindness and compassion, some nurturance to myself. Look at the opportunity I've just created for myself to heal. If that isn't something to begin to feel joyful about, I don't know what is. And now that I can feel joyful in my efforts and my actions, in my understanding, in my intention, in my concentration, and the mindfulness that's brought to my awareness here. It's changing my life. What a joyful thing. I've just folded in all of those 8 noble qualities. And that can anchor me, center me, so I can see this other person separate from me, connected to me, because this experience stirred up a lot for me, but I can keep that stirring to myself. And now I can be fully present to this other person. I don't have to compare. I don't have to entertain feeling less than or diminished by. I can simply see this person and delight in the fact that they're delighted. They exist in the world. They are having this experience and it's making them happy. That is something so joyful. Easier said than done, friends. Let's be real. Easier said than done. When you notice in the presence of another's delight that you cannot be happy for them, that is an invitation for sacred solitude. That is an invitation to go quietly and reverently into your own heart-mind space. Be gentle. The landscape in which you are now walking is fragile. Imagine, if you can, going into that sacred solitude, and everywhere you step are little tiny brand new budding plants with ladybugs and butterflies. And the last thing you want to do is stomp all over the place. So be gentle. Watch where you're walking. Watch what you're thinking. Watch what you're saying to yourself. If you say heavy-handed things, that's like stomping around on your own heart. You don't have to do that. You can do something else, something new. Honor that a difficult emotion has arisen for you, inhibiting your experience of joy for yourself and for someone else. Go and take care in the reverent spaces of your heart and mind. Look deeply. Be gentle in your tone. Let your wisdom come forward. You'll know. And as you take stock, delight in the fact that you're practicing. Millions and millions of people have no idea what I'm talking about. But you know, your virtuous karma has brought you to this knowing. It's amazing, and it's a gift to the world. And as you can delight, even in this small little way, for your efforts of awareness and understanding for yourself, then you can look up and out at the person and the experience that was so troubling just moments before and offer them your delight. That's how it works. That is reducing just a little bit of misery in the world. That is keeping the wisdom and spirit of Shantideva alive in you. One final thought, the words of Thich Nhat Hanh. Your life is the instrument with which you experiment with truth, and may that truth reduce the misery in this world. Let's take a few moments of silence to just breathe that in, and then I'll invite the chime to sing. Let's go into a dedication of merit. All right, friends, we're at the end. And in the tradition of Buddhism, we end our practice with a dedication of merit. And this is a moment to really take stock, to look deeply at the wise effort and wise action of being here today. There's a story and a narrative that many people express, which is, I just really needed a meeting. I got to go to a meeting. I have to have a meeting. I have to check a box and go to a meeting. And while that may be true, the truth is to show up to a Recovery Dharma meeting is an extraordinary act of love. It is an impeccable expression of self-awareness and self-acceptance. It is a way of recognizing that I want to participate in practicing something new to reduce the misery that I experience in my own life, and by extension, the misery that I cause others. That is a sacred act. And so we take a moment at the end of the meeting to acknowledge that we have just spent an hour in the presence of the Buddha, the teachings, the Dharma, and the holiness of community, this Sangha, this collective soul that is here to inspire and elevate our every thought, our every feeling, so that we can continue to step forward into healing and transformation. It's no small thing to be here. And your very presence, whether you are sober, whether you are using harm reduction, whether you are still in active addiction, your presence exactly as you are matters deeply. And remember, friends, you have only ever been and you will only ever be well loved. May you be at peace. May you know that you are an instrument of peace. And when you sing your own song, may you see the misery of the world lessen. Thank you for being here, friends. We'll see you next time. Namaste.